Hi everyone, this is the very beginning of the stream. Uh, Gaming says, first let's go, yeah, you're the first. Cookie says, huh? Well, anyways, welcome to the stream. Cookies, you're new. Hatch says, whatever that is. Cookie says, hello, hi, welcome to the stream. Valerie says, yo, what's up? I am cool says, hello, hi, welcome to the stream. Elvis says, hi, hello. Hatch says, I'm sorry, I don't know that country. Yeah, I mean, I love every country. Sky says hi, hello. Jimmy says, yo, what's up? Kyrie says, stigma. What? Cookie says, what should I do now? I mean, you can chat. It's displaying in front of the screen. Jamie says, hi, hello. Lake says, what's up, hello. Jeez, the stream is really... Live chat's going fast today. Give me a second. Okay. User says hello from Albania. Hi. Robert says huh. Okay. Big says hi. Hello. Dollar says sup. Okay. Sultan says hi. Hello. Carlson says Philippines. Nice. Anne says hi. Hello. Nicola says, do you watch One Piece? Nope, I don't. Jimmy says the F word. Okay. Hatch says, I don't know that flag. I'm sorry. Again. Faisal says, hi, do you play Roblox? Yes, I do. Sultan says, hi, hello. Cookie says, oh, okay, I'll chat. Yeah. Robert says, translated, says hi. Alright. Kyle says, what's 9 plus 10? 9 plus 10? It's 19, pretty sure. Sultan says, I subscribe and like, thank you. Continue reading, alright? Gaming says, don't swear. Yeah. Hat says, Israel. The Israel flag. And, okay. Burler says, hello. Yeah. Hayes says, what's... I've already read that. Burler says, hello. Yeah. Carlson says, Philippines. Okay. Okay, I might have already read that a couple of times. I'm gonna continue with the bottom chat. GTA. Okay. Puig's family says hi, hello, welcome to the stream. Sponge says hi, hello. Hugh says, I subscribe your video, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Kyria says, who wanna be my... okay, I don't wanna say it, since it's already been censored, alright? I don't know says, can I spam? I mean, if you want to, but not too much. Hat says, Israel, alright. Evoker says, Mexico, alright. Not says, do you watch Naruto? No, I don't. Robert says, ooh, okay. Cookie says, what country you from? Malaysia? Friends goes, whatever that is, I'm sorry. Says hi, hello. And kids says, wolf, okay. Not says, do you watch Naruto? Nope, I don't. Katie says, hi, hello. The says, hello, okay, hi. You says, I subscribe your video, thanks. Sat says, hi, hello. This is translated. Okay, whatever that is. Uh, there's a whole entire chat. Katie says hello, hi. Nutella says free Palestine, okay. Moonwalker says hee hee. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I don't know, spam 67 all over the place, okay. Uh, Mark User says, what's up, I subscribe, thank you for subscribing. Akila says, I sub, thanks. You guys should probably sub to my main channel as well. I will upload it after the stream, don't worry. Hunter says, how's your day going? Really good. Van says, yo bro, can you play Roblox after the stream? Yeah, I can. And Kid says, laughing emoji, okay. Evoca says Mexico, okay. Katie says, what language? I mean, I prefer English language, yeah. I don't know says spam 67, okay. Hat says GTA 6 computer. I don't have GTA 6. Nutella says free Palestine, alright. You says, can you say wow? There you go. Kyria says spam 67 in the chat. Prefer not to. Lawan Hat says hello, hi. Kyria says 67, okay. Jimmy says yo, what's up? Dumo says hi, hello. Evoca says, what is the first language you say? English. Jason says, I'm like and sub. Thank you. Gaming says, don't spam too much. Yeah. Nutella says, free Palestine. Alright. Pryak says, how much? What do you mean, how much? Fallbrick says, Neil. Okay. And Kid says, I like the video. Thank you for liking. I don't know spam 67. Okay. Maria says, oh what? Okay. Hat says GTA 6. Alright. Christ says Louis. Okay. Connor James says, you gay? No. Evaka says, game over. Alright. Juvie says hi. Hello, Juvie. Kyria says, I got GTA 6 is coming in this year. Nice. Kai says, I'm fat. I don't think so you are, but don't look over yourself, alright? Dixon says 6-7. Okay. You says period, alright? Kyria says GTA from Timu. Okay. Dove says Daniel better. Yeah. You says, bro, do you love Ronaldo? Yes, I do. Nutella says, from the river to the sea, free. Palestine will be free. Okay. Evoca says, nope. Alright. Fatma says, hi, hello. I love God says, hi, hello. Evoca says, do you play Gorilla Tag? No, I don't. Dove says, can you say I'm a monkey? There you go, I did say it already. Mr. Benji says hello, hi. Kavia says, shut up, Jimmy. No, don't say that. Fatma says, GTA 6 is coming on my 12-year-old brother's birthday. He's in grade 8. Nice. Kavia says, no swearing, alright. It says sup, what's up? Shelly says hi, hello. Helena says hi, hello. Riley says hi, hello. Kendra says hi, hello. Evoca says can you be my second subscriber? Yes, I can. Uh, if you guys want me to subscribe to you guys, say hi after the stream in the comment section where I can actually see you guys more. Sky says, okay, whatever that is. Riley says, sorry, it's translated. Says yo, yeah. Dove says English was my second language. Alright, nice. Mr. Benji says I am a huge fan. Thank you. Riley says was myself. Okay. Helena says 6'7". Alright. Julia says I'm gay. Alright. Steel says yeah. Alright. I love God says why are some people swearing? I don't know. Shelly says don't spam. Alright. Virginia says hello. Hi. Maria says Roblox. Okay. Padma says I'm not lying. Okay. Alright. Kate says hi. Hello. Osman says hi. Hello. Alright. Yeah. Riley says do you like GTA? I mean a little bit. Crazy says Papaja. Alright. Mr. Benji says I'm gay. Okay. Carlet says hi. Hello. Sorry, it's translated. I don't know why. Mel says I am gay too. Okay. Kit says how are you guys doing? I'm doing really good. Osmo says hello. Hi. Alexa says hi. I'm big fan. Thank you. Era 6 says 6'7". Alright. Blue says do you play Roblox? Yes, I do. White says hello. Hi. Scale say hi. Hello. Crazy says okay, it's translated to English. Okay. Victoria says hi. Hello. Yuri says hi. Hello. Dove says GTA 6 is November 19. Okay, let's wait until that month. Osmo says hello. Alright. Gorilla says hi. Hi. Kid says don't spam guys. Alright. Victoria says hi. Alright. Wild says hi, huge fan. Thanks. Stephanie says can you shout out my name? Shout my name out. It's my birthday. Yeah. Guys, shout out to Stephanie Pickett 1481. Happy birthday to you. Alright. I don't know says hi. Hello. Alex says hi. Hello. Alexa says hi. Alright. Hi. White says shout out please. Everyone shout out to Whiten. Alex says hi. Hello. Christian says will. Okay. Carlos says hi, how are you? I'm doing good. Gary says I'm a baddie. No, you're not. Christian says hi. Hello. Osman says hello. Yeah, hi. Derek says well, boy, what is that? Okay. Media says I'm a huge fan. Thanks. Eros says 6'7". Okay. Angela says hi. Hello. April says hello. Alright. I don't know says what's up. Hi. Oh, what's up, my friend? Yeah. Sorry, like out. Athena says good sleep. Okay. I mean, I haven't got my sleep yet. Soul says 01363. Alright. Media says KFC. Alright. Willis says What's up? Hi. Evoca says, do you play Oculus? No, I don't. Says, I am a monkey. No, you're not. Carlet says, how are you? I'm doing good. So says, hi, hello. Osman says, hello, hi. Mary Grace says, HHVV, alright. Athena says, period exams begin next Sunday, alright. Hope you pass your exams. Nina says, Nina, alright. Stephanie says, can you shout out my name? It's my birthday. I already did earlier, but still shout out to you. And also happy birthday. Jessica says hi, hello. Avoca says, which year were you born? 2013. Stephanie says, it's my birthday, happy birthday. Alexander says, hi, hello. Sandeep says, YouTube logo and a red card, alright. Derek says, Jesus love you, thank you. Artum says, yeah, the chat's a little too much already. So yeah. Julber says hi, hello. Carola says hi, hello. Sandeep says this, alright. Katina says, okay. You says, then I'm going to support you. You say you love Ronaldo. Yeah, I do. Stephanie says, can you subscribe to me? And hi. Yes, I can. Liam says, hi, hello. Kit says, I can't really read that. I'm sorry. Not really good at reading different writings and stuff. Funny says, 6-7, alright. Derek says, Jesus Christ is the best. Yes. I'm actually Christian, if you guys don't know. Athena says, it's okay, I'm on the math website. Alright. Tonio says, yo, what's up? Yasuk says, H, alright. And G or something, I don't know, says, damn, alright. Silly says, hi, hello. Liam says, do you have a GF? No, I don't have. Sumai says, hello, hi. SCP says, hello. Liam says, I don't know. Okay. Christina says, okay, you deleted your message. Hutch says, say yaoi. Okay, I did it already. Sean says, hi, hello. Zach Walters says, hello guys, hi. Marty says, hi, hello. Your artist says this, okay. Paranormal says, hello, hi. Ethan says, hello. Color Club says, hi, I'm new. Hi, welcome. Rapper says, I love man. Okay. iPhone 6 says, hi, hello. Salami says, do you like Bulbul? I don't know what that means. Christina says, okay, I'm sorry. I can't read it because it keeps disappearing due to everyone's chat. Antonio says, what's up gang? What's up? Basketball says, 1/4 to the 15 power. Okay. Luxy says, yo, what's up? Antonio says this, okay. Camp says, shout out please. Alright, shout out to Camp. Kaldiak says, please, treadmill. No. Vince says, period, okay. Amber says, I support, thank you. Kaldiak says, please Robux, I don't have Robux, sorry. Dove says, my birthday is August 3rd, alright. Hope to remember that. Brett says, she's just reading the chat. I'm actually a guy. Amber says, I don't know. Okay. Patrick says, I'm gay. Alright. Patma says, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Okay. Foodie says get employment. Okay. Fathan says hello, hi. Tyler says name a car for an addict. Lamborghini. Liam says, can you shout out me? I have never been shout out before. Shout out to Liam, guys. Alexander says, what's up? Hi. Mystery says, what are you? What are we doing in this stream? Live chat? Yeah. Cool Kid says hi, hello. Zabe Gabe says, my name is Prince. My name is Prince. Okay. Princess says hi, hello. Elsa says hi, hello. Edit says, hey, hi. Tyler says, name a car and edit Lamborghini. Princess says hi, hello. Yasuk says, okay. Lev Levi says, I'm sorry, I can't read that. Disappeared. Too many chats already, sorry guys. Camel says, do you like Labubu? Dubai chocolate? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Bloxy says, I don't know that. What's the symbol? Death Star says, sup, what's up? Saint 4 says, hi, hello. Santiago says, hello, hi. Melba says, harness, okay. Mystery says, have any ideas? Nope. The only ideas I have is just reading chats and stuff. Zagabe says, is my Bertha, what? Suda says, hi, hello. Yasuk says, a keyboard emoji, alright. Cool says, hi, hello. Princess says, I love how you see our comments, yeah. It's also displaying on the screen so you guys can see. Trigger Normatry says, hi, hello. Cool Kid says, I don't know what that is. Mr. Like Short says, Jesus is the best, yeah. Wavy says, hi, okay, hi. Rayguard says, please sub, alright. Basketball says, object. Theory, alright. Lego Studio says, hi, hello. Levy says, can you shout out? Shout out to Levy. Tile says, hi, alright, hi. Joyful says, wow, yeah. Princess says, who is Muslim? I'm not Muslim, I'm sorry. Adrian says, period, okay. Kendra Morty says this, okay. Zagabe says this, alright. The cat says, my name is Aiden and I actually have a cat. Me too. I have 3 cats. Liam says, Diana. Okay. Joyful says hello, hi. Zane says hi, hello. Bobby says hi. Oh, you said yo, I'm sorry, read that wrongly. But whatever. At least I get to read it. Lala says, Labubu, hi. Hello, I'm not Labubu, I'm sorry. Wavy says, and also you can call me Ray. Okay. I mean, prefer reading your usernames. It's even better, I guess. Pikachu says Pika. Okay. Princess says it's okay. Yeah. The official says, where am I? In a live stream with live chat displaying. Penguin says, do you like cucumber? I mean, yeah, sometimes. Amy says, goodbye. Goodbye. Penguin says, do you like cucumber? I mean, yes. Portal says, I have 2 cats. Nice. I have 3. Wish I could give you one, but I can't. Elvis says W. Okay. Amy says cow. Alright. Official says hi. Hi. Kasen says hi. Hello. Sofa says type awesome without B. I don't know how that is. Joyful says Kudasai Konnichiwa. Alright. Salio says cow. Alright. Penguin says, do you like cucumber? Yeah. Princess says, I have 2 chickens. I don't have a chicken, but lucky you have. Elvis says, W stream, thank you. Media set says, hi, hello. Sent says, hi, hello. Dawn says, hi, can I please get a shout out? Shout out to Dawn. Media set says, FIFA World Cup Italy 1990. Alright. Ed says, hi, hello. Christolov says, haha, okay. Princess says, you call me Alice, just don't call me Princess. Say Alice or Princess Alice. Okay, so I'll read from Alice, alright? Sense says, okay, whatever that is. Mandis says, hi, hello. Ravi says this, okay. Nikita says hello. Hi. This says hi. Hello. Yeah. Ocean says, are you gay? No. JF says, hi, hello. Media set says YouTube logo, alright? Look Geography says, hey man, I downloaded Facemoji for this font, okay? Jofu says, you like pasta? Yeah, sometimes. Sent says hi, hello. This says hello, hi. This says hi, hello. Dom Peaver says, mod me. If you give me a like, then I'll mod you. Sent says, AE, I think that's what it says, I don't know. Carla says, jailer, okay. Sofa says, like this, alright. Brian says, hi, hello. Carla says, jailer, okay. Sofu says, whatever that emoji is, I cannot describe it, sorry. Ocean C says, do you play Roblox? Yes, I do. Media set says, do you like FIFA World Cup 2026? Yeah. I mean, my country didn't won the World Cup, so yeah, it's okay. Sofa says, that's here. Okay. Water God says, yo, what's pooping just up? Okay. Mandis says hi, hello. Sofa says how? I don't know. Sarah says hi, new here. Okay. Don says, can I please get a shout out? Shout out to Don Sits. Sent says, do you like Israel or Palestine? I do not know which country I want to take, but yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Alright, I'm back. Dom says, mod me, if you like the stream. Yes. Carla says, hi, hello. Joyful says, donut emoji, okay. Look Geography says, I would have explained this to you. I mean, whatever you have explained is okay. Sent says, sub and like, yeah. Brian says, can I please get a shout out? Shout out to Brian for asking this. I don't know. Michael says, hi, hello. Hades says, hi, hello. Princess says, by the way, one of my chickens bit me. That's why there is sometimes blood on me. I'm sorry to hear that. Ocean says, can I please get a shout out? Shout out to Ocean, guys. Leah says, shout me, please. Shout out to Leon King of 5S. Carla says, can I get a shout out? Yes, Carla. Shout out to Carla, guys. Sarah says, hi, new here. Welcome to the stream. Mackenzie says, what's happening? Live chats. Liam says, my Jungs, okay. I'm sorry, guys, I'm back. Media set says, do you like Hasbro? I don't know what that is, I'm sorry. Finish says, I'm not too sure what that flag is. I forgot about that flag. I've seen it before, but I forgot. Game is Lake says, I'm a lake. Okay. Hunter says, scream my name, please. Hunter. There you go. Michael says, how are you? I'm doing good. Joyful says, me too. Yeah. Look, Geography says, look at my fun. I use face emoji. Oh, so that's how you use those fonts. Okay. I want to see how I can do that, cause I don't even know. Sprite says, yo, chai. Okay, whatever that is. Sense says, okay. Mayo Coco says, hello, hi. Liam says, pray Gian. Okay. Alice says, do you like Palestine? I mean, a little bit. I don't really like countries but America. Lily says too. Okay. Leah says shout out me please. Uh, I already did that. Sorry guys, I'm back. Um, same study says B. Okay. Camp says hi. Can I have a shout out? Shout out to Camp. Lily says this. Okay. Daily says Don Benita's clone. Wait, you joined Don Benita's YouTube channel too? Cause I do. I do know who that is. Same 30 says hi. Hello. Jayla says, oh, Jayla Washington says hi. Hello. Uh, Color says, can I see your face? Not in the stream, I'm sorry. HD says, Malaysia. Hi, HD. Welcome back to the live stream. Christine Panel says, hi, hello. Michael says, how are you? I'm doing good. Gabe Gamer says, hello, I love you. Thank you. Uh, Insaladino says, watch the April show. Okay. Mayo Coco says, Jotaros. Oh god, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Ellis says, can you say my name? Ellis, there you go. Sumaya says, hi, hello. Nook says, pre-recorded, alright. Game Lake says, I'm not an oven. Okay. Or oven, I don't know. Osman says, hi, hello. Same 30 says, bro, I'm new. Welcome to the stream. Lily says, hi, hello. Dewi says, IPP. Sounds like IPP address. Nuke says, pre-recorded, okay. Hunter says, bro, you don't shout happy. I don't really want to shout. Sofa says, it's the epic face. Okay. Nook says, okay, I already read that many times. Arctic says, hello, hi. Jayla says, I will like and sub. Thank you. Sent says, hey file, I'm street lighting guy. What is 1 plus 1, 2? Shema says, Bilkies, okay. Paula says, do you play rivals? I don't. Force says, Messi or Ronaldo? Ronaldo. Alice says, are you a bacon or Roblox? Cause me, I'm not. I'm not either. Jofu says, do you like Mega Man? No. Gabe Gamer says, hello. Stoops. Okay. Arctic says, hello, hi. Sorry guys. Coco says, do you play Mobile Legends? I don't. Nuke says, pre-recorded. Okay. Carlos says, do you play Rivals? I don't. Shima says, Brox. Okay. Alice says, wait a second, what was that sound? Um, it was just my brother. I'm sorry. A little distraction, that's why I keep muting my mic. Mediaset says, do you like Oliver Tree? He died in helicopter crash. Yeah, I know a lot about those news about him crashing in a helicopter. I mean, everyone in my school calls me the second 2.0 Oliver Tree because of my nickname that I set by myself not long ago. Since the time he passed, my nickname was Oliver Tree. Everyone calls me Oliver Tree now. I don't know why. Just because of nicknames. Alright, back to this chat. Leah King says, hi, can I have a shout out, please? Shout out to Leah King R5S, everyone. Jayla says, I will like and sub. Alright, thank you. Mirashing says, Roblox, I think that's what you meant to say. Is good or bad? Good. But it just takes a lot of Wi-Fi. Yeah, it needs a lot of Wi-Fi to operate. Sorry, there's a notification. Okay. Look, geography says my country didn't qualify in FIFA World Cup. Oh, I'm sorry. My country didn't won the World Cup as well. I feel very bad, but it's okay. For those countries who won the World Cup, congratulations. Shema says hello. I. Sent says I'm file. I'm still learning. I am. What? Mayo Coco says, do you play Mobile Legends? I don't. Paria D says hello, hi. Shema says my country Iraq qualified. Nice. Paria says hi, hello. Sorry, I cannot read usernames that much. Jayla says I will like and sub, alright. Leah King says can I have mod? If you subscribe and like, then yeah, I will. Campbell family says hi. Notice me? Yeah, I do. Blitzsoak says Cillian 741. Okay. Alice says I love this live stream. Thank you. Not every one of my streams are like this, but yeah, this is definitely maybe one of the most interesting one. I don't know, unless if you guys are interested into it. HD says like mod. Yeah. And Nico says hi, hello. Yeremi says hi, I'm from Argentina. My English is bad and I'm your latest fan. It's okay, your English is not that bad. It's quite good, yeah. I mean, I'm Malaysian and I only speak English, that's all. Alice says, what is your favorite animal? Cats, dogs, and more. Mediaset says, do you like maple, Zoyu, and clutch? I don't know what that is, but maybe I'll get to know one day. Daniel says hi, hello. Taker says hi, hello. Leah King says I subscribe, thank you. Now that you have subscribed, I give you mod. I'm sorry, accidentally deleted that message. Okay. Gavin says my father has died yesterday of cancer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope he's in a really good place now. He is in a good place now, for sure. Yeah, my grandfather also died 3 to 4 years ago. Monica says, can you say my name? Monica, there you go. Supertis 2027 says hello, hi. Pakistani says, can you say my YouTube username? Pakistani mappings of the country. There you go. HD says hi. Ian, okay. Animal says, what is your favorite color? There's a lot of my favorite colors, like black, yellow, red, and there's a lot more. I like rainbow color, yeah. Jason says hello, hi. Cot says hi. Okay. Edua says rest in peace. Yeah. Gavin says thanks to. I think you meant to say thanks to those who said sorry. Yeah. Alice says, what is your first language? English? Gaps around says hi, hello. HD says hi, Mahab. Okay. Roblox says it. Okay. Snow White says I'm from Pakistan. Nice. Jason says hi, hello. Uh, Gap says hi, hello. Mahab says, please shout me out. Shout out to Mahab. Yeah. Galia says, shout me out. It is my birthday. Uh, Shout out to Galia Mohammed I9P, and also happy birthday. Forward says, hello, I play Roblox. Nice, me too. Your profile picture is the American flag. Nice. Alice says, I'm sorry, but I have no idea what to say, but I'm gonna stay. It's okay. You can say anything you like. Galia says, shout me out. It is my birthday. I've already did. Yeah. Roblox says, what's your favorite color? Rainbow colors is my favorite color. All mixed. Monica says, say my name, Monica, and give me a shout out. Monica, there you go. Shout out to Monica. Claire says hi, hello. Titanus says Inferno Live. Okay, I can't read that. I'm sorry. Jason says what 9 plus 10? I'm pretty sure it's 19. The real Sunny says iconic by mistake. It's okay. Forward says hello. I'm sub and like. Can give more? Yes, I can. There you go. Titanus says, okay, I can't read that. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. Jason says, okay, I already read that. Orc Ruby says, I'm bored. It's okay. You can say anything you would like to say. You can even ask anything. Monica says, say my name and give me a shout out. I already did. The man behind says, hey bro, do you watch people play FNAF? I don't. Ian30 says, what's your favorite meme? What is my favorite meme? You mean my favorite meme of the year? Um, my favorite, my most favorite meme is the 6-7 meme, yeah. But not quite anymore, as it's already drifting away, so should leave that back in 2025. Kite High says, okay, I can't read that. Jack123 says hi, hello. Steven says hi, hello. Sorry guys. Okay, I'm back. The real Sunny says, can I have mods? I sub and like, yeah, you can. I'm sorry guys, my brother's coughing. Bill stuff says hi, hello. Liam says Q, okay. Titanus says, control Pilinto Sandys Dean, okay, I can't read that, sorry. Galia says, shout me out. It is my birthday. Happy birthday and shout out to Galia. I think I did that already, yeah. Livian says hi, hello. Got a kid. Okay, I can't read that, I'm sorry. Bill Stuff says hi, hello. Masjid says, do you know who's Johnny Hoon is? I don't know. The real Sunny says, uh, I don't know what that is. But I know it's like always the fingers we used to do. Yeah. Doing bus says BMW or Mercedes, BMW. Fire guy says sup, hello. Bill stuff says hi, hello. Camel K says how. What? O'Neill says I'm your biggest fan. Can you shout me out, please? It's my birthday. Okay, yeah, everyone shout out. I can't read the usernames too much. Sorry. The real Sunny says, can I have mods? I sub and like, might have already given it to you, right? I think I did. Yeah, you already got the mod. Or maybe it's just the. Okay, I think it's just my chat having some problems. I don't know. Jeez. Epic Dude says, inspired by the theme of the uploaded image, create a single frame of a story-driven 2D side-scrolling pixel art game. Transform the images, theme, colors of content info. Yeah, I think you're referring to my live streams picture. Yeah. Fetchu says, what's your name, Axel? If you don't know how to spell it or pronounce, it's AXEL. So yeah. Tammy King says this, alright. Janice says hi, hello. Ken says let's charm. Okay. So Cine says with my profile picture. Um your profile picture, I'm not too sure what it is, but it's looking really cool to me. Yeah. Drippy says flops me out. Alright. I'm sorry guys, there's noise back around. Okay guys, I'm back. Sorry guys. Um Fire guy says what is your favorite food? McDonald's. But for my country McDonald's is not cheap now as it's pretty expensive. Okay, hold on. Notifications again. Blocking the chat. So yeah. Emote Robot says win from the landscape. Okay. Epic Dude says since you let everyone get shouted out, can you do me? Um yes, I can. But you got to like the stream as well, yeah. Sorry. Okay. GP says 6-7, okay. Emote Robot says okay, I already read that. Matthew says hello, hi. Alice says what is your first language? English. You says game over, alright. Juan says cursing emoji and stuff. Whatever that emoji is. Jocelyn says Jocelyn says hi, hello. Jack's text says stop ignoring me. I'm not ignoring you. I think I might have missed you or what, I don't know. Alright. Lily Rose says okay. HD says hi fire guy. Yeah, hi. I know you're not referring to me, but yeah. Matthew says hello 6-7. Okay. Jason says bye. Alright, goodbye. Tanzania says smiling emoji. Nice. Sweet Strawberry says hi, hello. Jason says bye. Alright. Wally says rate my profile please. I'm a new subscriber. Profile picture. I'm sorry. I think I saw it already, but it looks cool. Yeah. Fire Guy says, what is your favorite song? Oliver Tree for now, cause he's my biggest fan. I mean, I think he might have viewed my channel before, I don't know. But for some reason, I am one of his biggest fans, so yeah. Uh, Jul- Julia says, my dog died. I'm sorry. Your dog is in a better place now. Jason says bye. Alright, goodbye. Fire Guy says hi, hello, hi. Jason says bye. Alright. Epic Dude says, why do you never notice me? Is YouTube chat too fast? Yeah, it's a little too fast. I mean, this is the first time it's been fast, but yeah. Julia says hi, hello. Sammy says hi, hi. Us says, whoa, whoa, 723, okay. Jason says bye, alright. Furby says, lagging emoji, okay. Deku says hello, hi. Minecraft Rose says hello, hi. Jason says bye, okay. Natia says hello, I'm Natty, okay, hi. Jason says bye, alright. Faisal says oof, okay. I'm sorry guys, the chat is a little bit too crazy, so it's lagging out a bit. So things will automatically like delete the chats. I'm not too sure why. Sorry guys. Tanzania says, I like animals, me too. Jason says bye. Alright, goodbye. I don't know how many times Jason you said bye, but yeah, goodbye. I think you want me to notice. Uh, Toya says, shout me out. Shout out to that guy, yes. Oh geez, my grandma is calling me. Oh no. I would decline the call for sorry, grandma. Fire guy says tough. Alright. Tough or tooth, I don't know what that is. I can't. Sorry. It's because of the call, I'm distracted. Mug says hi, hello. Waving emoji, yeah. Fire guy says tough, okay. I'm just gonna pronounce it as tough. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pat A says uh Pat says A, okay. I'm sorry. Lagging out a bit because of reading too fast. Girl Len says hi, hello. Fire guy says tough, okay. Ada wrong says Fire guy says tough. Oh my goodness. I'm getting calls from my grandma right now. Um I'm gonna decline the call first. I'm sorry. Epic says, did I get mod? Let me check. Sorry. Yes, you did get mod. My grandma keeps calling. I'm sorry. Keeps calling me. Jason says bye. Alright. You keep saying bye. What are you doing here? Love Spot says hello, hi. Jan Lu says, oh my god. Okay. So Sini says, rate my profile picture. It's cool. It is cool. Pro Gaming says 16 days left. 16 days left for what? What is gonna happen in 16 days? Adarunga says, where are you from? Malaysia. J3 Seeker says, hi, hello. Minecraft says, Axel, can you sub to me? Yes, I can. You got my name pronounced right and spelled right. Nice. That's my actual name, guys, remember. Neckberry says, please say hi. There you go. HD says, hi, hello. Tanzania says, 10 out of 10. Okay. Pet says, what is a job? Uh, you mean what is my dream job or something? I don't know. I'm sorry. Fire Guy says, what is your favorite hobby? My favorite hobby is like doing electronic stuff. As you can see, I don't want to turn the camera. I will show it after the stream. So yeah. Hello says hi. Okay, hi. Lepetite says hi. Hello. Elia Samira says hi. Okay. Epic says I sub and like so I can get shout out and mod. Yeah, you are already a mod. You can see. Grace says what's your favorite video game? Um. Sorry guys, distracted again. Okay. Um. What's my favorite video game? I mean, I play Roblox, but the game is called Backrooms. I don't know if you guys know that, but anyways, Lou James says hi, bro. Hi. Sadless Sky says I am listening to your live while making my paper model planes. Alright, nice. Hold up, give me a second. Okay, I'm back with the stream, guys. I'm sorry I left the stream for quite a long time because I was having a call with my grandma. But yes, I'm back with the stream. So this says girl, okay. World says hi, hello. Uh, this is I'm sorry. This is waving emoji. Okay. Sorry, this chat is a bit too fast. Brosi says, "Can you play Roblox with me, please?" After the stream, yes, I can. Sharafa says, "It's called checking my sister's videos that she watches." Okay. Uh, First is Productions says hi, hello. Emil Best Roblox says hi, hello. Versus World says, where you from? Malaysia. Fire Guy says, peace emoji, alright. Vegetable says, hi, hello. Suri says, period, okay. Molly Ingalls says, hi, hello. Molly says, hi, okay. Sofa says, okay, let's check, alright. Nom says, I cannot describe that emoji. Rosie says, okay, yeah. Nicola says, no, alright. TMV says, do you have a VR? No, I don't. I mean, I want to buy, but it's too expensive. So yeah. Adam says invited void D. Sorry. Crazy amount of notifications again. So yeah. Min says 3. Okay. Fire Guy says, what is your favorite movie? Uh, my favorite movie is called Vanguard. I don't know if you guys know that movie or not. Match says, will you AFK? No. Nicola says, can you please add me? Uh, I mean, I can add you, but the laptop that I use in my other streams is not the same laptop I'm using right now because I'm using a different one. So this is a non-touch screen laptop, and I don't have anything else to save in there. All my other stuff is in the other laptop. Sorry guys. This stream is extremely epic and crazy. Like the live chat is going on really fast. Oh, this is the first time. I can't even see the rest of the chat. It's just speaking fast. Um. If you guys want to see my previous stream where the live streams chat has been going up really fast, you guys can refer to one of my streams from the last time, because it's like it's similar to this one, but this one is faster than the other one. Yeah, trying to improve streams. Okay guys, I'm back. Nicola says, bro, add me right now. I mean, I don't have Roblox in my laptop. It's inside the phone I'm using now. Sorry. Girl thinking says 2 days Blackpink 40 30 what? Goldberg says titanium. Okay. Kid says hi, hello. Laureen says hello, hi. Min says I love you. Okay, thanks. Norm says I can't read that emoji. Why is it always this one particular emoji? I can't. Whatever. Cat lover says, please can you give me give more than please see my comment. I mean, if you will to like the streams, yes, but whatever. I give it now. Martini says, hello, I'm Zoe. Oh, nice, you're Zoe. Welcome. Pearl Toe Tape says, who is Nantes? I don't know. Hyrule Zimic says, love you. Thanks. AKS says, what do you do in your free time? I mean, I go live on YouTube just to, be with you guys on YouTube. That's all. Cause I don't like to be alone and just have nothing else to do at home. So why not go live on YouTube? There you go. So Weird says Oliver. Yeah, Oliver Tree. Lauren says, can you add me? My name is Pinky. If you guys want me to add you on Roblox, you gotta go to my. It's either you guys can go to my video comment section and comment your username in it, then I can save it there, and you can also send it in the comment section after my stream, so you can go ahead and view it. So yeah. Nick says, hi. You are doing a good job. Yeah, thank you. By the way, guys, I'm gonna be ending the stream soon, so I'm very sorry because this stream is supposed to be a 20 to 50 minute long stream, but it instead of that amount of time, it's already like 1 plus hour. So yeah, in the next stream, I will be with you guys slightly longer than this. So thank you everyone for joining the stream, but I will still read your comments for a little bit more before going. So many people, I mean, some people has been asking, am I gay or something? I don't really want to know. I mean, say, keep that private. All right, can you play Roblox game after the stream? All right, guys. Wow, there's still a whole entire chat going on. Timer for 300 seconds. Oh no. Okay. Mocha lover for life says hi. Hello. Lonely says, what is that? I can't describe it. Sorry. Elvino says, hi, hello. Kid says, Emily, okay. Map, Map Pizza says, what? Okay. Tanley says, 3, alright. I don't pay my bills says, uh, girly? What? You calling me girly? I'm not a girl, okay. Brosi says, bye, alright, bye. Neo Gamer says, hi. Hello. Lexwell says, hi, hello. Kid says, my name is Emily. Nice. Your name is Emily. Okay. Emily. Hope to remember that. Flashy J says, do you like the dots? What? I don't know what that is. Last call edition. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Gotta find out what that is. Sorry. Howlick no says, I'm sorry. 2. Okay. Lily Rose says, hi, I'm Lily Rose. Nice. Nice name. Hen Y says, hi, hello. Man Pizza says, what is this? Live chat displaying in front of us camera where you guys can actually see your own chats and a live stream. May says, are you a YouTuber? Yes, I am. I'm a YouTuber. Yes, I'm a YouTuber and a streamer at the same time, but I didn't stream yesterday because I don't have time. Sorry, guys. Canva says hi, hello. Maybe says hi. Hi or something, I don't know. Maybe you're trying to say hi or you're trying to say I don't know. Matthias says day. Okay. Master says hey, hello. Hi. Nervous Energy says hi, hello. 8.0 Android says wow, that's awesome. Thanks. I forgot your name again. Oh, it's Emily, right? Okay. I'm back. And Anger Muse guys says hi, hello. Sorry guys, cannot read usernames properly. I'm not a good reader. Okay. Colin plays baseball says jumping out. Shout out to that guy right there. May says period. Okay. Uh, Emily says, "You Indian?" No, I'm not Indian. I'm Christian. Back with this. Oh, jeez, hold on. Man, the chair I'm sitting now is not good. Okay. Flash TJ says, okay. Emily's Guy 16 says, "Hi, I'm new here. Welcome to the stream." Sulfur says, "Yo, you should play the Springtastic commercial." Okay. Odyssey says, "Hello, hi." Matthias says, "Yo, hello, hi." Josley McDonald says, "Hello, hi." Lewis says, "Hi, I like your videos." Thank you. Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. User says, "Wait, do you play Roblox?" Yes, I do. Okay, I'm back with the stream. Rose says, "Hi, my name is Teresa." Hi. Sundo says, "Mate." Okay. Joe Bigger says, "Hello, hi." By the way, guys, I I'm gonna have to end the stream already, guys. It's a pretty long stream. Holy crap! Wow. Before ending the stream, um, for those who are just joining the stream and also new to my live stream, welcome to the YouTube channel and my YouTube account. You may subscribe to the channel to join the next live stream and chat along inside here. So yeah, for the next live stream, you guys can join, and I'll see you on. I'll see you guys all in the next live stream. Cause yeah, it's a pretty long stream today. You to go. Yeah, thank you. I just yeah. Alright. Um, this is crazy because this is the first time my live stream has about 89 likes and a ton of views. Thank you guys for the support. You may subscribe to join the next one. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, goodbye everyone. Thanks for joining.